Hello, welcome back to I Create for You. I have I think it's one more story in the cemetery part of this Ghosts Among Us book. So let's get to it. It is called Traffic Stop. Carolyn and Candy Steinken were sisters in law and best friends. The two Wisconsin women who married brothers often share secrets, but they never imagined that one day they would share a secret so strange that they simply could not keep it. Both moms needed a break from caring for their families. The freezing January evening, let me start that over. Both moms needed a break from caring for their families. The freezing January evening, they bundled up and drove to Chicago suburbs to see a movie. It was a comedy, said Candy, describing how they were laughing afterward as Caroline steered her Dodge onto a well-lit street. Caroline saw him first. Off to her left, striding across the lawn of one of the old charming houses that lined the street, was a man. Something about him was not right. He is not dressed warm enough for such a cold night, she thought, as he headed toward them. He wore jeans, a flannel shirt, with a vest, she said. The wind chill was 40 below, added Candy. It was a record-setting cold day. Moving at a brisk pace, the man stepped into the road into the path of an oncoming car. The car slammed on its brakes at the same time we did, said Caroline. Candy watched the man and described his clothing just as Caroline did, adding a few details. He was wearing a flannel shirt like a farmer, a pair of jeans, and work boots. Besides the fact that he was not dressed for such a cold night, there was something even more odd about him. He was transparent. You could see the headlights from the other cars shining through him, Caroline explained. He passed by one headlight of the other car. Just as he moved in front of the other headlight, he vanished. He swirled into a haze and dissipated, said Candy. I couldn't have seen that, thought Caroline. I had my mouth open, she remembered, and I looked at Candy and she had her mouth open too. Candy admitted I would have been glad to call it a hallucination, but as Caroline and I looked at each other with our mouths hanging open, we instantly went into shock. We knew by looking at each other that what we'd seen was real. Both cars sat still for a very long moment. It was obvious that the driver of the other car had also seen something and needed time to process it. I wish we'd thought to talk to the other driver, lamented Caroline, but the women were too stunned to think of that. We were crying and shaking. Certain that they would not be believed, they agreed to tell no one, not even their husbands, but they couldn't hold it in. We both told our husbands as soon as we got home, laughed Candy. They later went back to the scene in the middle of the day. When they found the yard the apparition had strode across, they wondered if he had once lived in the lovely old home. Then we looked across the street, said Caroline. There was a funeral home. Had the ghost originated from there? Is it possible that the figure they had seen was a spirit lingering near his body? Was he taking a stroll around the neighborhood as he waited to be buried? We researched and found just one man who had died on that day, said Caroline, but he was in his 60s and the man we seen was in his 30s. This does not discount the possibility that the two are one and the same. Many believe that ghosts can appear as much younger versions of themselves than when they died. The ghosts, of course, could have belonged to any number of folks whose bodies were brought to the funeral home in the past. It is also possible that the ghost belonged to someone who had lived on that street, perhaps someone who was killed while crossing the road. Though the identity of the spirit is still cloaked in mystery, Caroline and Candy agreed that the sighting has had a profound effect on them. It was a life-altering experience, stressed Caroline, adding that the occurrence inspired her to become more spiritual and get closer to God. And that's the end of that one. Wow, that's freaky. Now, that one appeared transparent, wasn't a full, like, one person that you would look at and say, definitely, that's another living person. This one actually was see-through, transparent, and was seen by two oncoming cars. So yeah, and the fact that they can't figure out who exactly he was is another great mystery. Well, folks, I wasn't going to do one of these today, but I decided I'm going to do one anyway because this is what I planned on doing Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, is doing videos and sketches for you guys the best that I can. And so my printer took a crap on me. I'm waiting on a part, filter to change out, and it's going to take like 3 to 7 business days. But in the meantime, because this guy was like an apparition and it was see-through, it was kind of, to me, it'd be kind of hard to try to recreate that. I usually get reference pictures. I Google somewhat of what I could come up with for the for the ghost or whatever, and then I have like this reference picture to do a sketch with. Well, since I don't have my printer to do that, I decided to go into my horror book, my horror sketchbook, and I'm going to do him. I know he's not who this person is, and it was funny because they had him in this cemetery part of the book, yet they didn't mention the cemetery. So anyway, this guy has a tombstone behind him, and I'm going to try to recreate that sketch. This is my sketchbook that I made, and every corner has a sticker for a reference, and just to keep up with my my sketching skills, I decided I was going to make myself a horror sticker sketchbook. So we're going to try to do this guy. It's a little awkward for me. I usually have my pictures on this side for me to do. I'm going to bring you guys down a little way, then you can get a really good picture of this guy. Yeah, he's kind of creepy, but I'll do my best. And I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I was slacking. I'm trying to get... I was on the phone with insurance people for an hour and a half today. So that really kind of could put a kibosh on a lot of stuff for me today, getting stuff done. So right now, I'm like trying to beat the clock before Mark gets home from work so that, like I don't have to worry about him coming in, but I probably will anyway because I'm about to he was on his way home as I was trying to set up for this. So yeah, this is going to be a very interesting sketch. He really looks weird. That is just his neck, my goodness. So yeah, I'm trying to play beat the clock. So I have no idea how good this is going to look. And I wanted to get the dishes done before I could get anything else done. And so I apologize for sounding a little bit rushed here. But we're going to get through this. I might have to pause if he comes in because I had to order our food, our grocery list from Walmart, and he's going to go pick it up. I thought I'd do that today so we wouldn't have to run out and fight with people at Walmart for this holiday season, holiday weekend, I mean, because it's going to be crazy is that people associate the Memorial Day weekend with picnicking. And so, yeah, I didn't want to have to fight the crowds at Walmart. I'm getting at that age now where it's just not... I can't tolerate some people. I mean, I know that should not be, but sometimes it just like it can weigh on you when you're trying to get stuff done and oh, we got a cat here now. No one wants to help. Come on now, Stashy. Thank you. Yeah, so rather than deal with the people there at Walmart, I submitted an order, and all he has to do is pick it up then, which is awesome. He looks kind of funky here, but he looks kind of funky here too. So I'm doing my best. Okay, he's wearing flippy flops. What the heck? I don't ever knew of doing a monster wearing flip flops. This is a new one for me. Guess we could say at least it's not Crocs, right? Right? I don't know. I like Crocs. I have a pair of Crocs. I can't really bash people who wear Crocs. That would be hypocritical of me. This guy is strange looking. Okay. There he is. And I'm going to do this cemetery thing, tombstone or whatever it is behind him. We'll get that one in. Okay. And then he has some weeds or whatever this is growing up behind him and around the tombstone. We got a few here. And we got a skull down here. So I'm going to quickly do this skull, which has nothing to do with him, but because he's already got his head, so I don't know why there's a skull hanging out down here. But I guess they want it to be scary, so there's that skull head down there, and some more little like grass or whatever down here around him. And I think I might have done it, folks, in that short a time. Look at that horrible looking guy, and look at this horrible looking guy right here. This is him. Right down to his flippy flops. His flippy flops. Yes. Woo, that was a tough one. That was a quick one, but a tough one. So, anywho, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the story and the sketch. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. Safe travels if you're traveling. And just remember, it's the reason for this season is to honor those who have sacrificed themselves for our freedom. And thank you to all the veterans, and thank you to all the ones who have passed and sacrificed. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay creative, stay colorful, stay creepy, and stay tuned for the next video, which will be on Monday. So, if I don't see you before then, have a great Memorial Day weekend. Like I said, take care. Bye-bye for now.